Hey guys, it's the Cube Meister here with the final step of the intermediate, or the easy way of doing the Rubik's Cube. So by now you should have the first two layers and the corners all solved. That's pretty much the hardest stuff done. Just one last routine or algorithm left to learn. So what we look for is we look for a piece that is kind of in the right place, kind of like what we did with the corners. We looked for a piece that's in the right place. Doesn't have to be necessarily switched the right way around. In this case, nothing is in the right place, so I'm just going to do the routine. So let's pretend that this is the side we want to keep. So pretend this little blue in here is the side that we wanted to keep. We put it to the right hand side, and we bring both down, because we're only fixing the middle, so we can bring both down, and then we go into the side that we wanted to keep, so into the right. Bring the outside one up, and bring the bottom one back. And then you bring these both up, and you have a 3, 2. So 3 out the way, 2 in. And let's have a look at what that's done. What that has done is it's placed the yellow in place. These guys still aren't in the right place, so this time we're going to do the routine, but we're actually going to keep the yellow. That's ideal. It's not the flip the right way around yet, but that's fine, it's in the right place. So both down towards what we want to keep, the outside one up, bottom one back, and both up. And then I've got my 3, 2, so 3, 2. And what that should give me is this case, which is actually quite rare, this case, when we have a whole solved side and opposite each other, and then these two need flipping. When that's the case, we do a double. Whenever anything's in, when they're all in the right place, so they're all in the right place, white's in the white, blue's in the blue, yellow's in the yellow, green's in the green, regardless of how many of them are completely right, when they're all in the right place, we'll always do a double version of our routine. And usually the side we want to keep will go to the right hand side, but in this case, when there's two sides opposite each other, you make them face you. So one's at the front, one's at the back, and we do our routine. So we go both down, into the right, outside one up, bottom one back, both up, and then my 3, 2. And then what I do is I turn it around. So I did have my white on the right hand side. This time I turn it so it's on the left hand side, and I do the same routine, but going to the left this time. So that's what I mean by the double. You just do the same. Outside one up, bottom one back across, both up, 3, 2. And this will give us a scenario which is more common, which you should find, which is one to the right and one to the back. Two next to each other are solved. So I've got my blue and my yellow. Right and back are solved. And that's where you put them. You put them to the right, put them to the back, and you do the routine. And now you could do it, if you've learnt the routine off by heart, you could do it with your eyes shut. I can do it with my eyes shut from here. And it will solve the cube, and this will be your first ever time. So if you've got it to this position, put the side that's solved to the right and to the back, and we do our doubles. So we bring them both down, into the right, outside one up, bottom one back, both up, 3, 2, boom, boom, boom. And then I put it to the left hand side now, both down, into the left, outside one up, bottom one back, both up, 3, 2, and savour this moment, because this is your solved Rubik's Cube for the first time. So guys, I hope that was helpful. That's pretty much it. Play around with the routine, and when everything's in the right place, regardless of how many are flipped down, you do a double version of it, just like we did with the corners. So anyway guys, that is the intermediate way of learning it. I think it's the easiest way of learning it. It's the way that my mum taught me when I was about 14 or 15, and it's the way that my wife teaches her primary school kids at school, and it's actually the default way that I solve other cubes that are similar, that are kind of like shape-shifted puzzles or like modifications of this. I kind of always approach it with this kind of method, because this is my standard way of doing it, and it hasn't really got understanding. You saw loads of times you sort of just did it, and then if it worked, then great. If it didn't, then we did it again. It's a bit of trial and error, no understanding in it, which is why I'm not necessarily 100% behind it, but it's easy, and you just have to remember 3 little routines, and the hardest bit is that first layer. But anyway guys, congratulations if you made it this far. Enjoy. Cheers.